Most people think evil comes from monsters, but the scariest evil comes from ordinary people. People who look normal, smile politely, pay their taxes, people like you. And in 1961, one psychologist ran an experiment so disturbing, so powerful, that it proved a terrifying truth. Anyone, even the kindest person, can be turned into a villain. This experiment was so dangerous, it had to be shut down. And today, psychologists say it could never be repeated again. This is the story of the Milgram Experiment, the test that exposed the darkest side of the human mind. It all began at Yale University, a quiet lab. Two volunteers enter a room, or at least, that's what they think. One is the teacher, one is the learner. The teacher's job is simple: ask questions. If the learner gets them wrong, the teacher must press a button that delivers an electric shock. 40 volts, 80 volts, 120 volts, all the way to 450 volts, a shock labeled danger, extreme. But here's the twist: the learner is an actor. The shocks aren't real, but the teacher doesn't know that. What they don't know is that the man behind the glass is screaming in pain. The teacher asks a question. The learner answers incorrectly. A switch is flipped. BZZZT. A cry of pain. Another mistake. Another shock. Please stop. My heart. It hurts. The teacher hesitates. His hands shake. He looks at the scientist and asks, "Should I continue?" The scientist calmly says, "The experiment requires that you continue. No emotion, no sympathy, just pressure." And then something terrifying happens. Most people think the teachers would refuse, that they'd walk out, save the screaming man. But that's not what happened. 65% of participants, ordinary men and women, pushed the shock all the way to 450 volts. Even after hearing pounding on the walls, begging, screaming, and finally silence, as if the man had passed out or died, they continued. Not because they were evil, but because a man in a lab coat told them to. Milgram discovered something horrifying. Obedience is stronger than morality. Authority is stronger than empathy. And good people will do terrible things if someone gives them permission. When the truth came out, the world was shaken. Teachers broke down crying. Many had panic attacks. Some refused to believe what they had done. The experiment was condemned as psychological torture. Countries banned it. And today, it is considered one of the most unethical experiments in history. But the scariest part is this: Milgram warned that his experiment was not theoretical. It was a mirror showing how ordinary people followed horrific orders during wars, how societies commit atrocities, how authority can turn kindness into cruelty, obedience into violence, and humans into monsters. People love to say, "I would never do that. I would refuse. I'm different." But every participant said the same thing before the experiment began. So now the question is this: if you were in that room, with a man screaming behind the glass and an authority telling you to continue, would you stop? Or would you obey? Tell me in the comments. What do you think you would have done?